Author and journalist Fred Khumalo is retracing the steps of 7,000 AmaZulu warriors who marched from Johannesburg to Durban during the Anglo-Boer War. Our reporter Manqoba Mchunu is with Khumalo in Volkrust, Mpumalanga. Thanks very much, Manqoba. Just tell us what your journey is about over there.
Well, Nampu, I can certainly tell you that it's not an easy one. I mean, just having walked a few meters with Fred Khumalo, it's been, quite difficult, having have to endure some treacherous routes here in Volkrust. And I can tell you, Nampu, he's been walking for the past 5 days. And that's exactly about 238 kilometers that he's walked from Johannesburg, of course, having left Johannesburg on Monday, starting on that long trek that the over 8,000 Zulu men, women and children had embarked on about 120 years ago. Of course, that was when the gold mines had shut down at the start of the Anglo-Boer War. And of course, Fred Khumalo himself, having been a journalist, a columnist, as well as an author, having captured that story of those 7,000 or 8,000 women and men and children very well in his book that he published last month called The Longest March. And of course, he's going to tell us more about the motivation behind this. Fred, thank you for joining me. First of all, it hasn't been easy. I mean, the few meters that I've walked with you have been very difficult. How have you been coping?
Well, today is very mild by comparison. Monday was hell because I covered 51.4 kilometers in scorching heat from Johannesburg all the way to Heidelberg. So that was the most trying day for me. But the subsequent days, especially today, it's nice and mild. So I've been moving very briskly. I moved today from Berdekop, which is around 29 kilometers from where we are now. So I've covered 29 kilometers since around 10 past 9 this morning. So it's an easier day today. But altogether, it's been a challenge. It's been a challenge that, I don't regret having embarked upon the thing, but next time, if I get to do it next time, I have to replan it.
And you were just telling me that, at some point you wanted even to give up. That's how difficult it's been. So you can imagine the kind of, treacherous conditions that those 8,000 men, women and children were faced with. I mean, what are you hoping to visualize or to encapsulate, to capture through this walk?
What I'm trying to do is I wanted to find a dramatic way to honor these people, to bring back their story into the public domain, because the story of the march by these people in 1899 has been one of those that have been hidden for political expediency from public view. So in my attempt, in my writing the book itself, and then upon embarking on the march itself, I was trying to find a most dramatic way of bringing this story into the public domain. And maybe I'm going to encourage other people to do the same so that this thing becomes an annual event. I mean, we have annual walks, annual commemorations of one nature or the other. Why not do this? Because it brings back to public memory a very important phase in our history, the Anglo-Boer War, which has been told from one angle, which excluded the suffering, the pain that black people had to endure during that war. The fact that 27,000 black people died in concentration camps, that hasn't been reported. So I bring that into the book, and by doing this march as well, I want to use this march as a platform from which I launch this story into the public domain.
And of course, in your book, you also tell the story of Philippa and Ndugu, and their struggle, who were also, of course, part of this march. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, Philippa and Ndugu were fictional characters who bring another aspect to the march. Philippa is white. Ndugu is a black man, a Zulu man. So I wanted to explore issues of identity, issues of racial conflict. So, yeah, that's why I decided to write this book.
Okay, let's stop it there for now, just due to time constraints. Of course, Fred Khumalo embarking on this very long trek. He's going to be reaching Ladysmith, and he hopes to do it in 10 days, as those 8,000 men, women and children had done about 120 years ago. Of course, starting the march on the 7th of October. October, this very same day, 120 years ago, that those men and women had embarked on that route. Of course, is now in Volkrust and not too far, but about 200 kilometers away from Ladysmith, where he's hoping to reach in a few days' time.
Thanks very much for that, Manqoba. A great commemoration indeed.